At an early age, my mom worked the night shift as a nurse, my dad worked the day shift. They couldn't afford a babysitter. So when we were off of school, guess what? Went to work with my dad. So at 4 years old, he would hand me a bone saw and say, hey, get to work.
Wow.
Okay? And he said, the lesson I'm teaching you, sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do, but you got to always provide for your family. This is how I'm providing for my family. Lessons like that stick with you. You have to be prepared to take any and every opportunity that's presented to you. All right, nothing's just gonna happen. You know, everybody say it's all on you. It is all on you. There's other people that can educate you and help you, but you take these different experiences that you learn that stick with you. I mean, you may not remember a whole lot when you were 4 years old, but there's certain memories, there's certain things. You can use them to either harness you to greatness, or you can use them to kind of just keep you where you're at. And most people are just satisfied with at. There's always a next level. Your definition of greatness and what you want to achieve could be totally different than somebody else's. You know, we always say, no one wants to be first, okay, because they're afraid of the consequences that come with doing something first. You know, we go to Michael Jordan. Everyone, when Michael Jordan took over the Charlotte team, okay, everyone says he's a failure. Well, how can you be a failure when you're the first professional athlete to own a majority of a franchise team? Can't be a failure. You're the first to do something. If you're the first to do something, you can't be listed as a failure. I wanted to be the first to do something, and that was to work with high-end professional athletes. We have tons of information available to us, okay? But the difficult part is we don't have a lot of individuals who have the ability to process information at a quick rate. The ones that can excel, and we call them cleaners in the book, they're so well prepared at their task, no matter what variable is thrown at them, what circumstance, they can adjust and they can get that end result. And that's taking something that an individual who's just in a playoff situation, you literally get off the plane, you have an hour to figure out what's going on, how to fix it. It might only be a temporary fix, but it's going to get you the end result for that particular game. Most people, when the game ends or they sign a contract, they exhale. The champions never exhale. So a cooler is a person that you give a job to and you're going to get the desired result. You're not going to get anything exceptional. You're not going to get anything outstanding. You're going to give them something to do. They're going to deliver a result that's expected. Okay. Then when we have closers are a level above that. Closers are people that you give a task to, you give an assignment, they're going to deliver you that end result majority of the time, as long as too many variables are not thrown at them. A cleaner is an individual, what we call a don't think person. They're so well prepared at what they do. They spend hours and hours of time, years of getting prepared, that no matter what's thrown at them, they're going to deliver that end result over and over again. Their instincts are so dead on that no matter what variable, what problem, they can adjust on the fly and have the ability to get themselves in what we call the zone. The problem is, in order to be able to put yourself in the zone, preparation is the key. We're trying so hard in our lives to fit in. We try to fit into certain groups, certain frats, certain sororities, you know, among certain friends, yet the people we idolize are the ones that stand out. But when you're prepared, there is no fear. There is no fear of failure, okay? Because even if you've walked out of something and you feel like you failed at it, your preparation is so strong that you're going to take that failure and turn it into the outcome you desire. And most people stop at failure. We've all failed at things. I'm going to continue to fail at stuff. Right? It's the most powerful tool you can use. But it all depends on how you use it. You know, we talk about it in Relentless, okay? A scalpel, okay? In the hands of an individual, it can do unbelievable damage. In the hands of a professional, of a doctor, it saves lives. So it's the same thing with failure. It's how you use it. It's that drive inside of you okay? It's what we talk about, the dark side. The dark side is filled with failure, but it's the fuel that burns you like something that's never burned inside you before. I'm never the first call. I'm the last call the person makes, okay? Because when you have to make this call, there's a problem, because that means they can't figure it out. Now it becomes my job to figure it out, and it's my job to deliver, because if I don't deliver, okay, not only will the last call not happen, that phone will not ring again, because I'm only as good as the last delivery that I've done. And that's how everybody needs to think. You can't talk about what you did 5 years ago. You can't talk about the deal that you closed last week, okay? You can't talk about your sales for last month, okay? Those things are expected of you. Don't expect to get a pat on back for doing your job. You're supposed to do your job, okay? If you're getting rewarded just for showing up, imagine what that's going to do to you later in life. Now, when you do something extraordinary, it doesn't quite feel the same.
So we are all now going to turn to this man, and we are going to ask him one simple question. Are you a cleaner?
I'm past a cleaner now.
Oh,
we're already working on next. We're already working on next level stuff. And I don't have a whole lot of time and a whole lot of words to get my message across. The truth is very concise. The words are very few. But people don't want to hear the truth, because the truth hurts, okay? But you grow from pain. You really do. You can't know how to deal with success. You can't know how to deal with failures. You can't know how to deal with the bumps in the road that if you haven't had a taste of everything, okay? And once you remember that bitter taste in your mouth, you never want to feel that again. We're in physical pain, but when I blew my knee out, all right, that was actually the start, unknowingly, of my career as, I don't like to consider myself, here's the other words, I don't like to consider myself as a trainer, okay? I'm not a trainer, okay? Quest is not just a bar, okay? There's a lot of people that are just a something. There's very few people that are the something, okay? So when people introduce myself as a trainer, I'm like, no, I'm not a trainer, I'm the trainer. It's a huge difference, okay? That was my path into becoming the trainer. It probably is the worst thing that can happen to an athlete. It's the best thing that happened to me from a developmental standpoint, because now it forced me to study the body like no one had ever studied it before, to feel the pain and discomfort that an athlete who blows out his knee, who blows out his shoulder, now I know what they have to deal with, not only from a physical standpoint, but from a mental standpoint. Now I knew what was going on up in here, so I could push them beyond the barriers, okay?
So what is happening in the mind?
It starts to scatter. You know, you got neuron patterns flying all over the place. You know, we talk about, the way I try to bring it down is, everyone talks about when they're doing something, when they're nervous or something, oh, I get butterflies. I get butterflies in my stomach, okay? And it happens to everybody, okay? Well, guess what? If you get the butterflies all moving in the same direction, you've won the battle. So now from a mental standpoint, if I can get all the thoughts moving in towards one direction, instead of feeling sorry for myself, instead of putting the blame on other individuals, instead of feeling guilty, those are all emotions, okay? And emotions make you weak, okay? I'm already in a weakened state. I don't need to be weaker. Kobe Bryant blew out his Achilles, okay? Every other individual, they would carry off the floor, okay? He went up, shot 2 free throws, made them both, walked himself off the court. Okay?
That's pretty impressive.
The process of the rehabilitation started the moment he got up. If he would have had somebody carry him off the court, if he would have not shot those free throws, he lost that battle. So even what everybody else thought he was losing, he actually gained. The reckoning process, the healing process started immediately when he stood up. I'm gonna go to the free throw line, I'm gonna go make these 2 free throws. That's how a cleaner thinks, okay? We all have that ability. We all have next level ability, okay? There's not other people that aren't holding you back. Your boss isn't holding you back. Your parents aren't holding you back. Those are excuses. To me, there's no such thing as luck, okay? All luck is preparation meeting opportunity, plain and simple. You have to be ready, prepared for that situation. Everybody runs from pressure. Okay. It's easy to blame somebody else, to play armchair quarterback, to say, oh yeah, if they would have ran this play, this would have happened. Pressure is a privilege. If you're an employee of this company and the boss puts you into a pressure situation, that's a privilege. He believes in you. You better deliver, because if you don't, that situation goes to somebody else, and you may never get that opportunity again. Michael used to tell people, first day of training camp, every single time, grab the guys together and say, I'm going to pass you the ball one time. If you don't do anything with it, I'm not giving it to you again, because I can miss a shot on my own, I can throw a pass away on my own. I can do that on my own. He was testing the guys to see, if I pass you the ball into a critical pressure situation, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to fumble it? Are you going to throw it away? Are you going to pass it back to me like a scared individual? It transcends whatever you're doing. It's not a switch you turn it on and off. Cleaner switches don't need to be turning off, okay? There's no such thing as beast mode. They're just beasts. There is no mode.
You're not getting more playing time because you're not good enough. That's the simple, hard fact. And I want you to love that fact, right? I want you guys to love that it is completely in your control and it's completely identifiable. And it's only when people don't want to believe that very simple truth. And if you guys know Occam's razor, right? The simplest answer is usually the right answer. The simplest answer is probably not some big conspiracy against you or the department that you're in or whatever. It's you're not doing a good enough job. Steve Martin wrote a book called Be So Good They Can't Ignore You. That's the only advice you can ever give. Just be so good they can't ignore you. And that's such a huge piece of advice that you give people, that preparation, that you're gonna get that opportunity to perform, but you've got to do something with it. That's so important. And it's liberating. And until you hear that that's liberating, if you hear that as a smackdown or a frustrating thing in life, you're